Hashtag sell me your Cyberfrog. In defense of Ethan Van Sciver, it's complicated. Pros ruining comicsgate. Is there a rat in the mix? Or a frog? Having a YouTube channel is pretty cool. It has allowed me to talk to a lot of great people and some evil ones. Rich Johnston, for one. People hate a fence sitter because both sides will turn against the milquetoast gray area dweller. They are loved by no one. But most issues are nuanced. Someone in the comments responded to my defense of EVS and said, how many kids would it be acceptable for a person to punch in the face if he saved a dozen from dying in a fire? I think my answer is all of them. EVS has helped a lot of people achieve their dreams of making a comic book. True, he has helped his fellow pros, but he has also helped dozens of unknowns. He has helped people in spite of themselves. He has guests on his show who have zero microphone skills. Ethan has carried the show for both of them, and he has even helped people who actively hate him. The comic book hut would dance on EVS's grave. He would dig the body up and prop it up in a rocking chair and call it Mother. EVS told people to go sub to the comic book hut anyway, who I have to admit is very entertaining. It's refreshing to see hatred that is right on the surface. For the comic book hut, EVS is pure evil, and Tim Lim is a doctor. But I like both EVS and Dr. Transcript Bunny Boy Lim. They both are amazingly talented professionals. Have they said some stupid things? Of course. I say stupid things every day. We all do. It's called being human. I don't agree with everything that anyone does. I don't agree with the things I do. I make a video, listen to it, realize it's kind of petty, but I'm not a pro at YouTube. None of us are. We're all going to say stupid things, but we aren't SJWs. We believe in forgiveness and redemption arcs. SJWs believe in compliance by terror. If you make one blue joke, then they will bring it up for the rest of your life. Rich Johnston, accused racist pedophile, writes at Bleeding Cool, the accused racist pedophile Rich Johnston has a comic book coming out. If you upset the SJWs, they will never move on, unless you're Hillary Clinton, or Cory Booker, or work in the media. Or if you work for MSNBC and kill an intern, but whatever. I generally like everyone in or associated with comicsgate. There's only one guy I no longer listen to, but I don't hate him. Do I say his name? I guess I will. Doug Tennapel. I just don't understand how he could treat his old friend Ethan like he has. EVS did an 8-hour live stream, helped Doug raise $40,000. Then Doug didn't thank him at that awards ceremony. He should have thanked EVS first and foremost, and publicly thanked him on Twitter. But I don't hate Doug, I just don't understand him. I realize that there may be private communications that we don't have access to. It's possible that I don't have the full story, so I can't reach a conclusion. So Doug Tennapel is the one guy who I don't listen to anymore. I don't go downvote his videos and attack him in the comments. I just don't listen. Oh, and I guess I don't listen to Nasser, but mostly because he eats on camera and it makes me want to take a sledgehammer to my phone. But both Doug's and Nasser's projects look great. I think in 20 years, Nasser is going to be a famous author. If he doesn't die of obesity-caused heart disease, maybe he can intern under the great Max Visaggio. Sorry for that visual. What started all this is EVS responded to my comments that he wanted to debate me. But it wouldn't be a very interesting debate because I mostly defend and support EVS. I had some very mild criticism for him. He can be thin-skinned, a bit of a prima donna, and inserts himself into situations that he doesn't need to. Mike Miller said pride is a sin during Gay Pride Month. Why do they have a whole month? That doesn't make sense. Veterans Day, Gay Pride Month? He didn't say we must stone the gays to death like it says in the Quran. EVS should have just ignored the comment and moved on with his life. Work on Rainbow Brute, Cyberfrog 2, which are going to be awesome. There were some minor shipping problems with Cyberfrog, and some people said the font was a bit tricky to read, so in the next Cyberfrog, he will improve them. And like I said, I offered to buy a few copies of Cyberfrog from people who weren't satisfied with it, but oddly enough, nobody has taken me up on the offer. When even mild criticism for an artist can be too much, but I am also well aware that controversy gets clicks and super chats. But EVS doesn't need to attack his friends to make a few bucks. Money is not an issue for EVS. He has royalties that will come in for the rest of his life. So I don't know if his motivation really is the money. It might be that he is concerned about his reputation, or he is just a bit of a busybody and feels the need to insert himself and control situations. And in his defense and to his credit, he also wants to protect Mike. But while you may agree with him on the Nerkish situation, where Nerkish had a Discord server where edgy boys were making edgy jokes about the victims of World War II. And hey, I had family that died in those events also. But I don't care. Make all the edgy jokes you want. Either you support free expression or you don't. But EVS was trying to warn Nerkish how dangerous the SJWs are. Nerkish has very serious health problems and has a family to support. The SJWs will dox him, get him fired, and harass him for years because they are communists. They control through fear and intimidation, and making Holocaust jokes might be hysterical to a teenager, but it's not putting bread on his table. And for some reason I can't fathom, YouTube takes a dim view on the subject. I have a note here. Don't make a solution joke. Damn, it's tempting. See how edgy I am? So in that situation, Ethan was protecting Nerkish and himself from the idiots at Bleeding Cool who can't laugh at anything that isn't Orange Man bad. But the Nerkish situation was different from Mike Miller's situation. There was no need for EVS to start a war with Mike or Doug or John Delarose, Tim Lim, Edwin, War Campaign, the I Love Comics crew, and a bunch of other people. If you meet assholes all day, the Venn diagram has you highlighted. The probability is that you are the asshole. No, I'm not calling EVS an a-hole, but he is the center of a lot of fighting. He is the obvious commonality. He is the nucleus, and the vector to propagate is Twitter and his need to control comicsgate. Pay some fellow YouTuber $100 a week to run your Twitter. Have them post upcoming showtimes, announce the guests and projects, and post your artwork. Once the SCWs realize that you aren't even reading your Twitter, it will take the wind out of their sails. My point is, nobody here is without sin, except Cecil. Cecil is love. Even Zach makes mistakes. That haircut before the interview, the fact that he didn't record the interview himself, changing his channel name was really dumb. He is always going to be diversity in comics to most of us, and it killed his channel growth. But you know, he still did over $500,000 in campaigns, so things have a way of working out for him. Because fundamentally, he's a good guy and people like him. Plus, the SGWs who attacked him and threatened his many ex-wives and children are so evil that if they hate you, then you're probably on the side of the angels. Anyway, EVS is far from stupid. He knows that he is rubbing people the wrong way, but it's minor and easily fixed. Back away from Twitter and mend some fences with the people you're arguing with. Get together with Mike, JDA, Edwin, Doug, Tim at a convention. Have a couple of drinks, pull out the bong, maybe drop a half tab of the X. We are comicsgate. Gentlemen, we must indeed all hang together, or most assuredly we shall all hang separately. Comicsgate is a weak, fledgling industry with 100% of the mainstream media against us and 100% of the comic book pros against us. At least publicly. Edwin Boyette, Peter Smeddy, and Alterna were almost killed by SJWs. Tug had SJWs go to his house and terrorize his wife and child. Richard Meyer had his mixed-race children threatened by Michelle Perez and other insane Antifa crowds who follow NPC Comics. Ethan had his life threatened twice that I know of. Tim Doyle I saw those threats personally myself on Twitter. Tim Doyle threatened Tug. Donald DeLay was threatened that he would never work in the industry because he dared to question the narrative. Even Nasser Rabadi was called a cum dumpster and told he was blacklisted by the industry. If you know of any other stories, send me an email or tell me the stories in the comments. Guys, we need to stick together. People want me to pick a side, hail Caesar or defame him. But EVS has done a lot of great things. He's helped a ton of people raise money for charity, help fellow comic artists who are having financial trouble. He is mostly an amazing guy and a nice guy, but more importantly, he is a kind guy. He is quick to anger, but he is also quick to forgive. So yes, if you rescue a dozen kids from a fire, you are allowed to punch them in the face while telling racist, sexist, Islamophobic jokes. EVS has helped Comicsgate raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. That buys a lot of forgiveness. So no, I don't want to debate Ethan Van Sciver. I have a lot of respect for him and everyone in Comicsgate. It takes balls to be in Comicsgate, even if you're a woman or trans. Hashtag not a bigot. Okay, more on this in a few days. I have virtue signaled enough for one day. Like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my Patreon because hookers and cocaine won't buy themselves. My email is in the description where you can send me private messages.